History is often told as a story of nations, of survival, of clashes between great ideologies. But what if I told you that some of the bloodiest chapters in our past were written not for land or liberty, but for the vanity of a single person? These are the forgotten wars, the conflicts fueled by ego, where thousands paid the ultimate price for one individual's pride. Imagine a great conqueror, a name etched in stone and praised in epics. He already rules a vast empire, his people are prosperous, and his borders are secure. Yet, he looks at a tiny, insignificant sliver of land on his neighbor's map. It offers no strategic advantage, no valuable resources, but it's a piece he doesn't own, a small imperfection in his grand tapestry of conquest. His advisors plead with him, showing him the cost in gold and, more importantly, in lives. He dismisses them. The desire to complete his map, to leave behind a legacy of absolute dominance, is an obsession. So, the drums of war beat again. His veteran legions, weary from years of fighting, march into a conflict that has no purpose beyond satisfying his whim. Farms are burned, villages are sacked, and a generation of young men is lost, all for a sliver of territory that adds nothing to the empire but a footnote in a history book written to praise a fragile ego. The people starve, not from famine or disaster, but because their leader's hunger for glory was insatiable. Now, picture two kingdoms side by side, ruled by two monarchs who have been rivals since childhood. Perhaps it started with a snide remark at a royal banquet, a perceived insult over a diplomatic marriage, or a petty competition over who had the grander palace. This personal animosity festers for years, poisoning relations between two otherwise peaceful nations. What could have been resolved with a simple conversation or an apology escalates. Pride prevents either from backing down. One king raises an army to defend his honor. The other mobilizes his forces to punish the insolence. Soon the borderlands are aflame. Trade routes are severed, and fields that once fed families become battlegrounds. Soldiers who have no personal quarrel with the enemy fight and die because their kings couldn't stand the sight of each other. Two entire kingdoms are brought to the brink of ruin, their treasuries emptied and their populations decimated, all because two individuals refuse to swallow their pride. Their personal feud becomes their nation's catastrophe. You might think this is just the stuff of ancient history, of kings and conquerors long dead, but this dangerous vanity is very much alive in the modern world. Consider a modern despot ruling with an iron fist. His grip on power is slipping, the economy is failing, and the people are growing restless. His advisors suggest reforms, opening up the economy, and listening to the public. But the despot sees this as a sign of weakness. Instead, he needs a grand distraction, a spectacle to rally the nation behind him and remind everyone of his strength. He manufactures a crisis, claims a historical right to a neighbor's territory, and declares a glorious war of liberation. State media blast propaganda day and night, painting him as a heroic savior. Parades fill the streets with tanks and soldiers, creating a powerful cult of personality. Anyone who questions the war is branded a traitor. The nation is swept up in a wave of manufactured patriotism, ignoring the sanctions, the international isolation, and the ever-growing casualty lists sent back from the front. The war isn't for the nation's security or prosperity. It's a desperate, bloody performance to solidify one man's power. As we look back through the annals of time, a heartbreaking picture emerges. We see a grieving mother clutching a letter, her son's last words from a pointless war. We see the skeletal remains of once thriving cities turned to rubble by a leader's ambition. We see the 1,000-yard stare of a soldier who has witnessed unspeakable horrors for a cause he never understood. We see refugees fleeing their homes, carrying nothing but the clothes on their backs. Each of these lives, each of these shattered families and ruined cities is a testament to the devastating cost of ego. It forces us to ask a chilling question. How many millions have been sacrificed throughout history, not for freedom, not for safety, but simply to soothe the fragile pride of a powerful few. How many more will be lost before we learn? Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history. Stay curious,